So welcome along to our feature race. We're still at the Monza short circuit with the minis. Taijo has actually managed to join us now after his disconnects from the sprint race. So, and to thank him for his troubles, the computer has randomly allocated him and put him on pole position. Pogo's right behind him, so Pogo is in second. Big Wee Man is in third. Porscheman is in fourth. He'll be most pleased with that, I think. Dan is in fifth place there. Seventh place is CDN Trooper. And bringing up the back of the field, exactly where Christian wanted to be, Spankmeyer is bringing up the back of the grid. So as I said, tyres are going to be the telltale of this race. These cars like to eat tyres. You're spinning them most of the corners. So we may see a couple of stops in this. I think we'll be okay in fuel, but definitely for tyres, definitely one was mandatory stop. But I think we may see one, maybe two stops if there's some damage. So we'll just wait for everybody to be ready, and we'll watch for the lights. Everybody lines up on the grid. It was actually a jump start in the previous race, so let's hope everybody gets away cleanly on this one. As Pogo gets a great start there. Taijo a little slow to react to the lights. Pogo's got down the inside of him and just misses the barrier there. Taijo, so Pogo off into the lead. See if Taijo can stick with him. Very close there between Spankmeyer and Porscheman. Spankmeyer's come through from the back of the grid there to third. That's a great start for Spankmeyer. Oh, and there's a big accident there as three cars collect each other. I think that's Big Wee Boy and Porscheman. CDN Trooper might have been caught up with that as well, but they are some very second-hand looking cars. Definitely some contact with the barrier, so that may trigger our first pit stops. Let's go back to Pogo, who's got a second lead on that first lap, so he's definitely putting the hammer down away from Taijo. Dan not that far behind Taijo either. There's only a second between them two. In fact, it's very close here between Taijo, Dan, Spankmeyer. Oh, and that was some contact coming off that second corner there. I think that was Taijo that was involved there, because Spankmeyer's just actually got past him, so... And yeah, CDN Trooper and Big Wee Boy both in the pits. That's obviously for damage. They are taking obviously their mandatory pit stop as well with that, but I think they'll be there for a while for the repair. Taijo certainly keeping on the back after that mistake of Spankmeyer. He's gone down the inside. He's actually put it straight down the inside there, but I think he's went wide as well. Spankmeyer went back down the inside and took that place back. Pogo was actually driving away as well. Dan's dropped back slightly into this group, so Spankmeyer and Taijo have both caught the back of Dan. It's going to be a three-way fight here for second place. As Spankmeyer goes very wide there, I think that may give Taijo the advantage and the run on to him on the straights into the first corner. So we'll just stick with this battle, see if Taijo can get back down the inside of him again, but this time get it stopped. And he's gone for it again. He's very squibbly on the brakes, but he does make it stop. Is that Dan there? That was Dan, I think, in the... no, sorry, no, it wasn't. That was a back marker that was in CDN Trooper that was in the wall, having just come out of the pits as well. So it's gone from bad for worse for CDN. Let's go back to this battle up front. So Dan's pulled away slightly on it now. There's a bit of a gap there with Taijo and Spankmeyer battling, so Dan's managed to pull a bit of a gap, and he's also taken a second out of Pogo Mojo, so it may not be over. It may still be a race for the lead. jump on board with Taijo. Still in close quarters with Spankmeyer as they both get... Oh, and that's a mistake there from Taijo. He caught the inside of the wall. So got the back end on the handbrake, got it round just that bit too early, caught the inside of the wall. And that's allowed Porscheman to catch quite considerably, actually. So if Porscheman can put in some fast times, he'll be on the back of Taijo. Spotlight likes to take that wide line, whether it's that he's struggling to get the front in or that he just prefers that line. Certainly not affecting his lap times. But there's definitely daylight there in terms of the lap times between the first two, as Spankmeyer makes a mistake there just as I was about to jump to the leader, but he gets it all crossed up on the handbrake into the first corner and puts it sideways into the wall. So hopefully that's not caused too much suspension damage and he can carry on. But the front two here have definitely got a fair bit more pace than the rest of the field. Pogo putting in well, fastest lap of the race that time round. And Dan not far behind, only a couple of tenths. But he has dropped back slightly, so it's now a 4-second gap that Pogo's got over Dan. I think actually Dan has just made a mistake because he's dropped back a couple of seconds there. His car was already looking pretty second hand with that flappy bumper, but I think he's just made a mistake into the first corner. We weren't on board with him. But he's dropped back a further couple of seconds. So we're on lap 7. We had a couple of pits earlier on for damage earlier on in the race. We were in the practice and in testing. When you get to about 10 laps, that was the point where the tyres were starting to scream no more. So a couple of laps to at that point. Let's see who can manage it the best. At the minute, it looks like Pogo. Pogo is just creeping away in that lead. That gap is steadily increasing. But yeah, when we get to that point where the tyres really start to struggle, let's see who can manage it the best. So look back through the field here, on board with Porscheman. Not too far behind Taijo. If he can put some fast laps in, he may be able to bring that gap down. His last lap was a little slow, as there's almost 4 seconds there between Taijo and Porscheman on the last lap, so not managing those fast laps right now. Let's just follow him across the line and see what this lap is. So it was nearly a second faster than Taijo that time round, so I can keep that sort of pace up. I think actually Taijo has just made a mistake there as well, so Porscheman, he's made another mistake. He's out on the grass now as Porscheman follows him. Not quite as wide, but definitely catching. That was a slightly slower lap, and there's a lot of damage there on Taijo. He's completely lost the front bumper. So weaving around quite a bit as well, so maybe some suspension damage. In fact, he's lost a fair bit of his car there, so maybe quite a heavy hit with the wall. As actually, just seeing the lead, there is, I think Pogo has actually had an issue there. Well, he's gone flying by the looks of it. Not quite sure why we're looking at the sky, but maybe Pogo has had a disconnect, I think. So, unfortunately, we've lost Pogo, I think. Oh, he's retired. So Pogo has obviously had an issue there and has retired to the pits. So Dan's actually taken over the lead. And as we were on board with before we moved to that, and we didn't actually capture that accident before Pojo retired from the race. We saw Taijo with in all sorts of bother with damage. He's actually in the pits now, obviously getting that repaired. They managed to put his front bumper back on, so that's his mandatory stop done. Obviously going to be there for a little while for the repair, but actually with all that happening and the retirement, that's promoted Spankmeyer to second place. Again, taking that very wide line, and that's fully off the circuit there, Christian. And Dan's actually in the pits, so Dan comes in and Spankmeyer goes down the main straight. Will actually take the lead momentarily. So if he can get the hammer down, he was last lap. He was nearly a second faster than Dan. Not quite on this lap though. He's dropped the pace off slightly. So Spankmeyer can put the hammer down now and certainly drop that gap to Dan. Porscheman's also got Dan on the start-finish straight while he's in the pits. So Porscheman's gone through. Again, another flapping bumper. So Dan in the pits first. Dan just there. Now exits the pits. Joins the action. So let's keep an eye on the lap times as he puts in his first flying lap. Doesn't want to lose it there. They're all so close to the inside curve. The inside barrier there has got it slightly wrong on the handbrake coming into the first corner. It is quite difficult to do out the pits there because you're obviously approaching a lot slower than you would after the main straight, and it's quite difficult to pick your braking point. As Taijo has actually, well, he's recovering, is very close to Big Wee Boy here at the back after his repair in the pits. So these two, as Big Wee Boy and Taijo both go very wide, and that's more damage to Taijo's car. I think he's going to lose his bonnet there now. He got suspension damage as well after that accident. That was both of them wide in that corner. There goes his bonnet. So let's go back to our leader. Let's keep an eye on the lap times. Just crossed the line, so that was a 54.9 for Spankmeyer. Let's see what Dan's crossed the thing. So that was a 58 out the pit stop after his pit. His out lap after the pit. So his first flying lap. Let's see how see what sort of times he's putting in after his pit stop. So straight back to the 51s, a couple of seconds quicker than Spankmeyer. So when if he keeps that sort of pace up, when Spankmeyer pits, he'll still have his he'll retake the lead and he'll still have a fair advantage, a nice gap. So Taijo and Big Wee Boy still battling away. Is he going to manage to get down the inside? Big Wee Boy here into the final corner. Looks, he's definitely alongside. There you go. Takes the position through the final corner onto the start-finish straight. It just looked like simply a better exit out of the third corner and onto that back straight that gave Taijo that advantage. So So we'll go back to our leader. Spankmeyer 16 laps in now. We're just, well, approaching the halfway point. Said we can't see the tyre data and how worn they are, but them tyres probably getting pretty second hand now for Spankmeyer and Porscheman probably, so I'm sure pit stops will be imminent very shortly. Not this time around, there he goes on. Across the start finish straight. Let's keep a lap. The time so that was a 54-second lap from Spankmeyer. Let's watch Dan's time because he was quite a bit cheaper as Spankmeyer makes a mistake there going onto the inside wall, getting it all crossed up. And that's allowing... It's that Porscheman it's allowing to catch him. No, it's a back marker that. So Big Wee-Boy's actually just gone into the pits as well. So Big Wee-Boy taking his stop, managed to stop the race. I think that's actually CDN Trooper that's ahead of our leader because he's being shown the blue flags. As Spankmeyer slows it right down, gets it under the 35-mile-an-hour limit for the pit lane and takes his pit stop. So Dan, that was a slow lap then from Dan. So there's way more damage on the front of that as well. So I think a mistake might have been made on that lap by Dan. So it's going to be nip and tuck this when Christian comes out of his from his pit stop for the lead of the race. Coming round the final corner now. Let's just quickly flick back to Spankmeyer and see he's not yet on the move. So I think as Porscheman's coming behind him as well, he's still stationary in the pit lane as Dan is now passing him. So there's going to be a big advantage there for Dan. That's not worked out well at all, that pit stop for Spankmeyer. Whether that was simply down to repairing damage. CDM Troopers actually come through and taken both those places as well because they've been stationary for so long. Spankmeyer's just in the pit exit now and CDN's actually got back past him. And he's done that through some fast lap times. As Porscheman is still stationary in the pit lane. And yeah, it's over 13 seconds that gap to Spankmeyer, so that didn't work out well at all there. And Porscheman's still actually it's just moving now, so just in the pit exit. Spankmeyer's only just coming out the last corner. And he's several seconds behind CDN Trooper there as well. So though there was that early damage and that early pit stop for CDN, taking that early stop has worked out quite well because he's well positioned in this race now. And unfortunately there it looks like we just, possibly due to damage again, we just lost Big Wee-Boy as well. Big Wee-Boy's just retired to the pits. So yeah, they're dropping pretty fast as CDN goes through some debris on the road there. And Spankmeyer's in again, so it's gone bad to wrong for Spankmeyer here. Whether they didn't fuel it, well, no, he's got plenty of fuel on board, so whether they haven't changed his tyres or that's got to be a pit strategy error there. Means he's in for a second time, and Porscheman's rounding the final corner, so Porscheman may actually get him here as he's still stationary in the pit lane. So yeah, Porscheman going to take that third place. So 8 seconds there. Yeah, just over 8 seconds. The gap he's got to Taijo, and Taijo's actually got Spunkmeyer as well in that pit window. So a CDN's actually come in again. So not sure whether that's for tyres, but CDN in the pit lane. And Dan's in the pit lane again as well, so Dan feeling the need. It's got to be for tyres. Dan feeling the team as Porscheman's gone through and actually takes that second place while Porscheman's stationary in the pit lane. Porscheman's actually gone past him on the track. But if the leaders have felt the need to pit, then it's likely that Porscheman has got to pit again as well. Exit of the pits from Spunkmeyer's brought him out behind Taijo, but he's not far at all, not far back at all. There's only a couple, about a second between these two. The lap time has sorted itself out, so Taijo's actually made room for the pits there as well. So Taijo into the pits gives Spunkmeyer that third place back. So now is the time to get them laps in and get chasing after Porscheman, who he has taken some time out of on that lap. Porscheman with a slowish lap. Dan with a slow lap there as well on his exit from the pits. But yes, Spunkmeyer took at least 2.5 seconds out of Porscheman there. So let's stick with him and see if he can catch Porscheman. Taijo's actually exited the pits there after that quite long pit stop. So I think Taijo's got a fair amount of work to do there from the back. Cause I think actually no, sorry, that is CDM that's in front of him. So he's obviously he's a lap down, Taijo, but yeah, CDM's they're not far away from him, so maybe they can have a battle to the end of the race. But yeah, obviously he's a lap down now, Taijo. So we'll go back to our leader. Some weight saving occurring around this lap because there's no front end on that car whatsoever. We're just into lap 25 now, so there's 9 laps to go. And Dan has got, so barring mistakes, has got quite a comfortable lead here over Porscheman. It's just over 10 seconds, so fairly significant lead there. Although Spunkmeyer, as he makes a mistake, as I say that, commentator's curse, it goes very wide coming out of turn 3. But Spunkmeyer certainly is taking chunks of time out of Porscheman, so that's going to be a battle for second place very shortly, because there's now only 2 seconds in it. So that's come down from several seconds, and he's caught him at a great rate of knots. So we'll jump across to Spunkmeyer, because he's just outside of the second, or just dropped back a tiny bit there, but just outside the second mark. Porscheman, so we'll follow him along here and see if he can drop that gap right down and take the fight to Porscheman for that second place. Not forgetting that as the leaders pitted and were felt the need to pit, Porscheman's obviously out of that cycle, but may need to pit in 3 or 4 laps time, just for the tyres. And Spunkmeyer's right with him now, so a better exit out of that turn 3. Can he get in the draft down the back straight? Not quite, but certainly took some time out of him. So is it being... Oh, that's the mistake there. So Porscheman has gone wide on that last corner, and Spunkmeyer's seen that, slowed the car down, taken the inside line, and has gone straight past him. So Spunkmeyer promoted into second place. But question is, can he do anything about Dan? That's a significant 10-second gap there to whittle down. And unfortunately we've had another retirement as well, so it's going to be a battle for the podium for this, because Taijo's retired as well. Not sure whether that was a retirement or whether that was a disconnect, but Taijo's unfortunately gone as well. So we're down to 4. It looks like Spunkmeyer is, Dan is maintaining that gap over Spunkmeyer. Porscheman is just slowly dropping back. He was a couple of seconds slower on that last lap than Spunkmeyer. There's only just under 1.5 seconds slower on that lap. But is that going to allow CDN to catch him? CDN is only a corner behind, and there's only a couple of seconds there. So can CDN catch Porscheman for that final podium place? Slight mistake there from CDN. Had to correct the car after he lost his pace on the inside of the final corner there, but he's still going to make the move down the inside here into Porscheman now thinks better of it, gets the car stopped. So here's the next opportunity down the back straight. We said we'd just keep an eye on that gap as well. We said Dan was had a nice gap. It's actually come down. It was 9 seconds. It's now 5. So Spunkmeyer is catching him. So maybe a last-minute battle for the lead here. So we're going to have a battle definitely a battle for third place. In fact, CDN Trooper has actually got Porscheman. So I was busy watching the lap times of Dan and Spunkmeyer, and the overtake has already happened. So CDN has gone past Porscheman to take that third spot. So let's jump back on board with Spunkmeyer. It's now down to 3.3 seconds. So definitely taking time out of him. And is that because there is damage involved up the front? Dan was definitely out of shape there coming onto the back straight. That car moving around a lot, so potentially it's damage related. But either way, Spunkmeyer is definitely catching him, and we're going to have a race in the last 4 laps here, we're going to potentially have a race for the lead. Oh, as Dan makes a mistake there. So Dan made a mistake in the braking into turn 1. And that has allowed Spunkmeyer through. So mistake was made into turn 1. Spunkmeyer straight through. And I think that is definitely damage related, because Dan is certainly struggling. CDN Trooper has gone past him there now for second. Spunkmeyer off into the lead. The question is, can Porscheman catch Dan as well? And is Dan going to have to make a pit stop for that damage, or can he manage it to the end of the race? There's only 3 laps remaining, so let's just keep an eye on Porscheman and see if he can make inroads into Dan's lead. It's only 4 seconds, so. It's actually CDN there with the impressive lap times, as we see Dan off again. So Porscheman is definitely going to be able to get it on the back of him, but it's CDN Trooper with the fast lap times, because he's now just outside the 1 second mark, but he's certainly putting pressure on Spunkmeyer. So last couple of laps, Spunkmeyer's not going to have it easy. And he now is within that 1 second mark. So CDN and Spunkmeyer we're going at it in our special event, battling away through most of that race, and looks like they're going to go at it again here, because CDN is definitely catching Spunkmeyer. So as we go through onto the last lap, it's going to have to be a brave effort from CDN if he's going to take that lead. Spunkmeyer gets it through clean through here. It's then all down to the exit of this corner, down the back straight, and into the final corner. Now CDN looks like he's got a better exit. He's in the tow. Can he make the move? He's chosen the outside line, so he's gone to the outside. Spunkmeyer looks like he's just slightly ahead. Both taking that wide line, and Spunkmeyer is. Oh, it's going to be so close. It's going to be a photo finish. This. CDN has got the run, and Spunkmeyer has just got it. He's just going to hang on to it across the line there. That was so close. But actually going back behind, Porscheman has actually got Dan, so that damage costing Dan their podium place as Porscheman rounds the last corner. And takes it across the line. A fantastic podium there from Porscheman. It's a shame that for Dan. At least he's stuck with it though. Yeah, so amazingly, no penalties in that race. So that will be, barring stewards' inquiries, that will be our top 3. So congratulations to Spunkmeyer with the win, CDN Trooper for the 2nd place, and Porscheman rounding out the top 3. Well done, guys.